The last few hours at Chiefs training camp have left fans stunned. 3 key wide receivers went down almost simultaneously, turning the receiver room into a full-blown nightmare. Meanwhile, a 7th-round rookie is starting to turn heads and might be the wild card no one saw coming. And to top it off, an update on Xavier Worthy had the entire fanbase holding its breath. Some even admitted they were close to tears. These are 3 breaking stories that could shift the course of the season. If you're a big Chiefs fan, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Let's get into the video. Patrick Mahomes just got hit with a wave of brutal news out of Chiefs training camp, and it's all about his wide receiver room, or what's left of it. Tuesday's practice turned into an injury gauntlet for 3 of his top targets, and it couldn't come at a worse time for Kansas City. Let's start with Hollywood Brown. The newly signed speedster was looking to make a splash after a rough 2024 season, but instead, he ended up limping off the field with an ankle injury. Yeah, carted off. Not exactly the debut fans were hoping for. Then there's Sky Moore, who also needed the cart after tweaking his hamstring. That's 2 key guys out in one afternoon. And just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, first-round rookie Xavier Worthy tried to make a diving catch on his very first rep and hit the turf hard. He walked off and eventually returned with his helmet. So there's that. But it turns out he's now in concussion protocol. This wide receiver room was already skating on thin ice, and now it's cracking under the weight of the injury bug. On paper, the Chiefs have firepower. Brown, Worthy, Moore, and Rashee Rice make up a dynamic bunch when healthy. The problem? That last part's been elusive. Brown only managed to suit up twice last season before a brutal sternoclavicular injury shut him down. Rice exploded as a rookie but played just 4 games in 2024 thanks to an LCL injury. Moore, same story. 6 games, then a core injury and a spot on IR. And let's not forget the Rashee Rice situation. The dude's facing a likely suspension after landing 5 years probation and 30 days in jail for his role in a multi-car crash this past offseason. So, yeah, it's a mess. Now Mahomes is still Mahomes, a magician with the ball, a 2-time MVP, and a 3-time Super Bowl champ. But even the great ones need someone to throw to. Chemistry doesn't grow overnight, especially when your top options are either hurt or possibly unavailable. Until this crew gets healthy and legal situations get sorted, the Chiefs are going to need other names to step up. Enter Juju Smith-Schuster, back in the mix and potentially in line for a much bigger role than expected. And don't sleep on rookies Jalen Royals and Elijah Badger. They're about to get a crash course in catching passes from a living legend. So yeah, Mahomes isn't panicking, but Chiefs Kingdom has reason to hold its breath. And if the WR injuries weren't enough, what just came out about a rookie might be even more surprising. If you're a Chiefs fan, wondering what to make of rookie Brashard Smith, here's the vibe. Don't just expect him to play running back. Expect a do-it-all weapon in Andy Reid's bag of tricks. This kid's shaping up to be a Swiss Army knife, and it wouldn't be shocking if he ends up being one of those sneaky, late-round steals KC's been so good at finding. Let's rewind a bit. Kansas City didn't go all in on revamping their running back room this offseason. Sure, they brought back Kareem Hunt and added Elijah Mitchell, but those moves didn't exactly scream game changer. Then, they waited until the 7th round to grab Smith out of SMU. And that's where things get interesting. See, Smith isn't your typical back. He started his college career at Miami as a wide receiver. Then SMU said, let's put the ball in his hands more. And boom, he switches to running back and promptly breaks the school's all-purpose yards record with nearly 2,000 yards. Oh, and he was a dangerous returner too. The dude's a blur when he hits open space. What sets Smith apart in the run game is his burst. He's got that rare patience to read blocks, but once he finds daylight, he's gone, thanks to some nasty one-cut acceleration. Compared to the rest of KC's backfield, he brings a level of slipperiness that guys like Pacheco, Hunt, and even Mitchell don't really have. Pacheco's a bruiser, Hunt's in that same lane, and Mitchell's smooth but lacks Smith's twitch and top-end speed. But where Smith might really make his mark early? The passing game. We're talking about a guy who ran real routes as a receiver in college, not just dump-offs and checkdowns. Swing routes, wheels, screens, you name it. He's already been flashing those in camp, sometimes even lining up purely at wideout. In an Andy Reid offense that thrives on creativity and flexibility, that's gold. And sure, it's early in camp, but the fact that Smith's already mixing in with the starters, that's not nothing. It means the coaches are already trusting him to do more than just sit back and learn. They're testing him in real reps, and he's responding with clean routes and smooth catches. So yeah, Chiefs fans should absolutely expect Brashard Smith to carve out a hybrid role. Think part Debo, part McKinnon, with a sprinkle of, where the heck did that guy come from? This is the kind of under-the-radar weapon that could quietly become one of Mahomes' new favorite toys in 2025. And speaking of rookies, the latest update on Xavier Worthy had fans seriously panicking. Kansas City Chiefs fans had a collective heart-skip moment during Tuesday's training camp practice, and it all centered around one of their most electric young weapons, Xavier Worthy. Back in February, the Chiefs were licking their wounds after getting steamrolled by the Eagles in Super Bowl LAX. But with training camp now in full swing, there's a whole new fire in the belly of this squad. That momentum nearly took a hit though, when Worthy hit the turf hard after laying out for a deep ball. He stayed down for a bit, then made a beeline for the medical tent. Cue the internal panic. Thankfully, the scare was just that, a scare. Patrick Mahomes checked in on his guy, and not long after, Worthy was back on the field with his helmet in hand. No limp, no cart, no bad news. Chiefs Kingdom breathed the biggest collective sigh of relief. Fans immediately flooded social media with reactions like, "Thank you," and "Phoo," with one person straight up admitting, "I was way too close to crying." That's how much this guy means to the fan base already. And it makes sense. Losing Worthy, even briefly, would have been a major gut punch. Last season, the Chiefs' wide receiver room was already held together with duct tape. Marquise Hollywood Brown was sidelined most of the year, and Rashee Rice's season ended in Week 4 against the Chargers. This team knows what it feels like to be down multiple weapons, and they're in no mood for a repeat. Worthy, heading into Year 2, has already carved out a major role in Andy Reid's offense. As a rookie, he racked up 59 catches for 638 yards and 6 touchdowns, plus 104 more yards and 3 scores on the ground. The Chiefs love using him in motion, getting him into space, and letting that speed do the rest. Simply put, he's not just part of the offense, he is a focal point. The truth is, the Chiefs are at a crossroads. Mahomes is still Mahomes, but he needs healthy, reliable targets. Smith might be a pleasant surprise, but they can't rely on just that. Subscribe to the channel to stay on top of everything coming next.